the world-famous Claremont Speedway, sponsored by Quit, for round 2 of the $500,000 World Series Sprintcars travelling horsepower circus. And there is the General, John Day, the enigmatic flag waver at Claremont Speedway for over 3 decades, the traditional 4-wide salute. Now there is something remarkable. 3 interstaters and 1 West Aussie on the front row for that salute. Look at John Day. Doesn't he do a spectacular job? Cables Water Ski Park, General John Day. Now this is remarkable. There was a time not so long ago when the West Aussies would shut out the interstaters. Those days of local dominance have long since gone. The depth of talent from interstate has been improving steadily over the years. Oh, I see Ron Cricky on the infield then. The 95 Ron Cricky Auto Centre. DK Maxim sitting on the infield. I'm told they had fuel problems. Well, that's a shame. He rolled over at Kalgoorlie. Ron has been the form driver in WA. He was going to really be the tough man to beat here. So Jackson and Lacey, Sydney Sider and a Victorian on the front row, a South Aussie and a West Aussie on the second row, and Skip Jackson straight into the race lead. Phil March into 3rd spot, Wells back to 4th. He won't be happy with that. And Skip Jackson runs her in on the low line as they come out of turn 4. Trouble here. Looks like the yellows may have come on. Trouble in Foul House Corner, as a matter of fact, coming out of turn 2, and it's Quick Time Charlie, the Highway Hauliers. Number 41, J&J Tallboy of Gary Satori. Well, he set the auto action fast time earlier in the night, and it's come unstuck in a bad way here with Paul Stubber in turn number 2. There was a 3rd car involved. Didn't quite get a look at who that was. So we'll come back. Oh, it's Chaz Calandro in the Castrol Racing 33. I believe that Chaz qualified through the B main. He hasn't run here a great deal in sprint cars, although he has been here for the Australian Speed Car title back in 95. Skip Jackson and Lacey, 2 men with a lot of experience between them. Skip has raced full-time for the last 6 years, 6 months in Australia, 6 months in the States. Is everybody else jealous? You had better believe it. Jacko runs away out of turn number 2. Hustles the skilled engineering O'Brien Aluminium. Number 7, Jeff Jackson built car out of turn 4. Lacey back in the 2nd spot. Mark Wells in 3rd. Max Dumsney, Gary Rush. Some big names there. Trevor Green and Brooke Tatnell. Trevor Green in the Adrad number 4 car. Hasn't got a huge amount of time up here at Claremont in a sprint car. He has run here a couple of times in speed cars. From the main straight, a lot like his fellow South Aussie Chaz Calandro, really. He spent a fair bit of time with the World of Outlaws Gold Eagle team, driven by Jeff Swindell this year in the States. And seems to be looking a whole lot smoother for it, although Brooke Tatnell really starting to work him over as we come back onto turn number 4. Max Dumsney about to find some pressure from Gary Rush. Max doesn't seem as hooked up as he usually is. He's running the wing very forward and very flat, quite surprising. A lot of the guys run the wing a little bit higher, as you can see, and generally towards the back of the car at Claremont. You want to try and unhook the car for the smaller tracks, but you really want to tighten it up for places like Claremont. You take all the weight off the front end, you generally tighten the car up. Skip kind of got a balance somewhere in the middle, but gee, doesn't he look very smart and very smooth. 1997 Knoxville USA track champ and the defending champ of World Series Sprint Cars. Also became a father during the year, as a matter of fact. He and wife Laurie gave birth to a beautiful little boy named AJ, as a matter of fact. 6 Jackson boys in all there are, and we've just added another one to the list. Brett Lacey, still the man in 2nd spot and doing a nice job in the Spies Hecker, number 26. Good to see Brett Lacey doing well. He was strong at Kalgoorlie on Wednesday. The former national champ, who was renowned for running a car, gold it was in fact, and we see the yellows come on. I think that was Trevor Green in the Adrad number 4 car. Let's have a look and see what the source of the yellow is, and yep, the man they call Fast Time. The Adrad number 4 J&J of Trevor Green coming up to a stop against the wall in the back straight at Claremont Speedway, sponsored by Quit. Jackson will lead him away. Lacey sitting in the 2nd spot. As I was saying, he ran a gold Australia 1 car without a front bonnet. Was considered quite revolutionary at the time, called the Beretta chassis. Mark Wells just off camera. Yep, he picked up the move. Well, you heard the crowd buzz up just for a second there. A lot of local support for Mark Wells. He's done everything there is to do in sprint car racing, bar the Australian title. In terms of West Aussie, look at Rush. Blast through on the inside of Max Dumsney. Well, he didn't knock on the fly-wire door before he opened that one. And Rush, proving he's in no mood to mess around, has an impeccable track record here at this facility. almost regarded as a local by the fans here. In his final season of racing, Castrol Maxim, hauled around Claremont by Gary Rush. Well, there is a good battle at the moment between the Queenslander and the South Aussie. The Titan Garages, 36 Reeve Cruck-owned Maxim of Terry Bracken, a young man who was a very good leader car driver. In fact, still drives when he gets a chance, but he's shifted full-time. It's his second time with this team. There is Phil March, the Les March Autos, Maxwell Motors, number 3 car. Good to see Marchie doing so well this weekend. World Series Sprint Cars Western Swing has not been kind to Phil in the past. In fact, I remember last year he had the B-main shot to pieces here and banged the wall with 1 lap to go. Weldy, his teammate is Ryan Farrell for this year. Last year it was Ron Crick, was for a couple of seasons. This time, however, Ryan Farrell back behind the wheel of the PMFM 92.9, number 29 Kendrick car. Brooke Tatnall looking pretty smooth at the moment. Had to come from well back in the field at Kalgoorlie on Wednesday. And looks like he's got his elbows up this time. Although not making a huge amount of progress on these two guys. Look at Rush. Tries for the inside move. Got a little bit loose. In fact, he was on the infield, trying for the inside groove. And Lacey proving that this place really is about momentum. Look how straight he keeps the front wheels. Watch the fast guys. You'll see that they keep the wheels very much in line for as long as they can. Minimum drag. Don't wash off any speed. They're reaching about 165 kilometres an hour at the end of the straights. You don't want to throw it in too hard. You just scrub off speed. People think that sideways is fast. It looks fast, but it isn't. Here is Lacey. Still very smooth out of turn number 2, or famous Foul House Corner. And at the moment, your race leader is long gone. It's A, B, see you later, he says to Lambert. Well, Jackson, proving that he's in no mood to mess around either, and I don't suppose you can afford the luxury. Oh, Dumsley with some trouble in the number 5 Valvoline car. May bring on the yellows. I don't know if he's going to be able to get off the circuit. Wellesley fired through on the inside of Lambert. That does not look like a fun ride. They look like they've got the setup not quite right. Just at the moment, it seems to be laying right over on the right rear tyre. Looks like a bit of a spooky ride for the shock blonde Queenslander, Anthony Lambert. For Jackson puts both of the Austrac 66 and 25 cars of Scott Milling and Alan Haynes out of the way. Ooh, stubber. Very aggressive. Rocks into turn 3 at Mark 3 with his hair on fire. Here comes Wellesley. Ooh, not scared to make up any advantage you possibly can in the 92 car. But mind you, you'd be doing that too if you had Brett Lacey and Gary Rush breathing down your tailpipes. Brooke Tatnall in trouble. Well, Tatnall looks like suspected driveline problems. You can see him looking down to the source of the drama. Brooke's bad luck this weekend continues. Traditionally, Tatnall is virtually unstoppable around this place for the World Series weekend. Skip Jackson settling in well. Last year he did exactly this. He led the feature from virtually start to finish, although Gary Rush was the man who challenged him. This year Skip looks so smooth. Wellesley once again desperate to get on the inside of Milling and get out after our race leader, Skip Jackson. This is where lap cars at Claremont can be real tough to get past because everybody is pretty well at the same speed. Lacey and Rush having an absolute boomer of a battle for what is 3rd place. Rush working him over, the 53-year-old proprietor of Pick and Payless in Blacktown, New South Wales, in his final season of racing. Always does well here at Claremont. Lacey, resilient at the moment, doing a fabulous job. Well, still unable to penetrate the defences of Scotty Milling, who is in fact about to go a lap down. Jackson roaring away with this. The car built for him by his brother. Oh, I'll tell you what, Alan Haynes very nearly caused some concern for teammate Scott Milling then. The Austrac 66 car. Unfortunately spinning coming out of turn number 4. So your leader is this man right here. It's the skilled engineering car of Skip Jackson. In 2nd is Mark Wells. In 3rd, Brett Lacey. In 4th, Gary Rush. Back to Farrell. Good run for Ryan Farrell. In the 2nd of the Kendrick PMFM 92.9 cars. Jackson will hold them up at the restart. He's very clever. We'll go when I say, boys, and not a moment before. Away he goes. Back on the loud pedal. Well, straight through underneath Milling this time. Now, can the Geraldton Jet go out after him? The winner of the Lawson Medal for last year. He won 9 feature race wins. And the Lawson Medal victory, Speedway's fairest and best overall in WA, went to Wellesley. No surprise there. He was lightning all year last year. Already has 1 main event win on the board, but love another. Lacey sitting back in the 4th spot now. Well, Phil March is starting to come back here. Here's Ryan Farrell running in with Paul Stubber. Stubber gets the car a little loose. That's what we talked about there with momentum. Keep the car straight. Good things come to those who wait. Out of turn 4, chasing up on the tail of Bracken in the 36 Titan Garages car. Ryan Farrell's an interesting story in his own. Originally, he raced with the Kendrick operation, then he went away and spent a couple of years with Jeff Murphy, based out of Maddington. Now he's back with the Kendrick team. Lacey, can't say enough about his Western swing so far. Done a brilliant job, and the Spees Hecker, number 26. Milling is getting around here pretty well. He was the Auto Action quick time man last night at Kalgoorlie. Even though he's a lap down, you can see he's right on the pace, doing a fabulous job as they work their way out of turn 2 and down the back straightaway. Scotty Milling has been about 5 years in sprint car racing now, as a matter of fact. Originally the team were based in Kalgoorlie. Now they keep the cars in a Malaga workshop where Kim Buswell, the former Kendrick crew chief, prepares them for competition. Rush would know this track virtually blindfolded. He comes out of turn 4, although the track a couple of years ago was shortened. It was originally 572 metres. It's now back to 520. And they still reach those frightening speeds off the end of the straightaway. It's just a momentum game. Wellesley trying to run down our race leader. They're Brian Aluminium. Skilled engineering, number 7 Jackson car, and I don't fancy he's going to do it. Jackson's got a good head of steam up, and he's so cool in traffic. Oh, speaking of traffic, Paul Stubber, who's been having, let's just say, a few dramas so far in this feature race, manages to keep the car going. Sprint cars with only one gear. You've got to keep your foot in the bucket, because if you stall it, it's all over. Wellesley running up a little bit higher in the track now, perhaps chasing some sort of advantage, but with 1 lap left to go, there's not going to be any advantage here. Skip Jackson is going to run away with it. The bespeckled youngster out of Hurstville in New South Wales backs her in to turn number 3 and 4, a fabulous drive. He'll take out round 2 of the $500,000 World Series Sprint Cars event. Mark Wells will get second. Gee, Gary Rush was close there. Rushy gets third. Back to Brett Lacey in 4th. Phil March back then to Terry Bracken. Go back to Ryan Farrell. But a fabulous drive to Jackson. He goes past one more time to make sure of it. He wraps up round 2 of World Series Sprint Cars at Claremont Speedway.